It's me, Dirty Honey, live stream lunching from a new location. I'm here at the pad. I was close by, and it's all cold and weathery out, so I stopped in at the house to have my lunch and live stream here because it's much more comfortable, and I gotta eat somewhere. What the heck, right? So that's what I'm doing. I actually already ate a sandwich. Got one more to go. Apple, a couple cuties, grapefruit, and banana. We're doing okay. Eat the same stuff, even if I'm at home. No hot lunch for Dirty Honey. Good crunchy apples, though. Got plenty of them. So, worked on my truck a little bit today. My spaceship, I mean. Anyways, gotta maintain the spaceship. So I was thinking about a couple of things earlier that I try and think about something to talk about now. I'm finding that I'm like, what are we gonna talk about on fucking live stream lunch? You can't just sit here and chew on a damn apple the whole time. Nobody cares about how I eat an apple. So maybe nobody cares about anything I say or do, but that's okay. Everyone has the right to do whatever the fuck they want. So, but what I was thinking about is the mirror thing. I have this thing I do, and I've actually made a video about it. I think it's a specific video about it, but it's basically looking at yourself in the mirror from really close up so that you're just dead-eyeing yourself, and you can kind of just see this part of yourself, you know, and then the peripheral. I use a full-blown closet, like the whole door is a mirror, so I can see my whole body if I wanted to, but I get really close so that I can just see my face, like I'm standing super uncomfortably close to another human being. Like that's what it ends up feeling like, and that other human being is you, which ends up being this weird mind fuck. And if you don't break away from that feeling of that being a different person or whatever, looking at yourself the way other people see you, as if it was somebody else, something like that. At first it's like, oh damn, I'm in this dude's face. But if you stay in that dude's face and you look at him dead in the eye and it's you, and you ask him questions about whatever the fuck you don't know the answer to, or you think you know the answer to, and you just want to see what you really think, because when you're looking at yourself dead in the eye, you can't lie to yourself, man. Shit's true. Truth is right there. Lying, looking at yourself in the face, you're like, dude, you can feel it when you lie to yourself. When you know you're trying to fool yourself or convince yourself of something that you really don't believe it's in there. And so I think that I've always thought it's important ever since I did it and discovered it, but the more I do it, the more I think it's super important to look at yourself that closely and dead in the face and dead in the eye and know what you are. What am I looking at? I'm looking at me. Study yourself from the inside and from the outside at the same time. And I think there's something to that. I know there's something to that, actually, for me. All right, I feel like there's something to that, because for me, it feels like something's happening, and I'm getting answers from somewhere that's the pool of truth or something. You know what I'm saying? It's valuable shit. And so I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about that, and we ended up talking about magic mushrooms and psychedelics and stuff, and how that's actually now becoming introduced into the world of like therapy and medical reasons and stuff. Seems like sooner or later that's going to be the case. And so there's a similarity or a common thread or something between that mirror technique and magic mushroom psychedelic experience, which is the recognition of yourself in and solely, like there's no other distractions, and it's amplified with psychedelics to, like, you can't move away from the mirror. You know, in the mirror you just, oh fuck, this is like hella uncomfortable looking at this dude this close to my face, whatever, I'm getting some weird vibe, or my face is looking all crazy or what because you're too close, and you can move away. You can't do that when you're on psychedelics or you eat magic mushrooms, so I hear, because it's the experience is happening, and so you're forced to see yourself as you are, and knowing that that's what you are. Once you're in there and understand that you're seeing yourself as what you are, and realizing and knowing that that's what you are, is part of what I think I get out of the mirror technique. Similar result, or similar um, recognition of myself, that allows me to be honest with myself about whatever it is that I'm asking myself or questioning or whatever. And with the psychedelic thing, I think it puts you into a zone where, so I hear, that makes you, there's no more walls. So I see this life thing as, you know, you're born as this pure little thing, and then life is dumped all over you, and opinions and religion, beliefs, and God, and what's cool and what's success, and just everything that distracts you from whatever it is you were born with, without all those things. And then you build out from that in order to feel like, because part of all that bullshit is telling you you're wrong, that's not the right way to do it, you're evil, don't trust yourself, listen to me, like hella fucking confusing shit, bro. And so you make your decisions as a human from the standpoint of that. You know, you were born, you're this little kid, you don't necessarily, it's easy for you to be convinced by life happening around you that the thing inside is this little baby, and everybody else is big kids and grown-ups, and they know what the fuck, driving cars, and what the fuck, and have a job and have a house and all this, what the heck. That's what I need to be, right? That's what I need to listen to. And so you're dumped on that, you don't listen, you're not ever listening to that, probably. Or maybe you go through life, and because I kind of, in reflection, feel like something like that was in me, that in reflection matches what I'm just talking about now, where it's like that was there, but I had to, it was hard, it's hard to believe what's in you when you have all these other things telling you that it's something different, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that, or try this, try that, go here, go there. All right? Like Pinocchio, dude. Reminds me of that, kind of. But the psychedelic experience, in some cases, so I hear, is something that removes all that bullshit and forces, or allows, maybe forces, because you can't leave. There's no, like, fuck this, I don't want to think about this shit anymore, I'm not turning this off, nope, nope, done, can't turn it off. But the thing is it's in you. That's what's there, dude. So you're forced to deal with that, and feel out what is in there. What do you think, and what are you afraid of? And the removing of the walls that are ego, to protect you from noticing or admitting or feeling like the thing that's in you needs to learn what's out there still. You protect yourself with those ego things, car, this, that, blah, 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 to kind of distract you from, or not you, but me, from paying attention to that and focusing too much on the outside stuff. But when you're in the mirror technique, or you're in a different zone where it's just you and you. I am I and I, me and myself, whatever. Okay? You're looking at you, it's you looking at yourself and trying to make that yourself another person, or another view of yourself, to better understand yourself. Because if you can understand yourself, it's easier to trust yourself, right? Can't trust something you don't understand. But for some reason, you can trust somebody else telling you to trust that shit you don't understand. Doesn't make sense, whatever. So the mirror thing and the psychedelic thing, the mirror thing, you do it and it does. The psychedelic thing kind of puts you into that, and also I hear that it feels good during the process. So it's not like all some hella scary shit. It's just that whatever's in you is going to be focused on a little closer, and then you will have a feeling about that allows you to have a better understanding of what you are, who you are, what you believe, and how you feel about that thing that was in there when their walls were taken down. And so it'll be that part, whatever is in there, is going to be different for everybody. So it's pretty impossible to predict what one person or another's experience is going to be when they do something like that. Do a psychedelic experience. This is what I hear. I don't know, man. It's some crazy shit that sounds hella interesting. But I'm at lunch, okay? I have to eat too. It's a real thing. I'm hungry. It's just a time for me to talk because I'm not working for that time. Mm-hmm. But the focusing on what's in you, what you really believe, is easier to identify using one of these techniques or methods or whatever, according to me and the person who was having a conversation about this. It kind of feels like that makes sense because we both heard similar things about the psychedelic experience, and so it made sense to both of us. So anyways, I thought that was pretty cool, and I really think that everybody should do the mirror technique because it's not necessarily a psychedelic experience the same way with all of the other things involved, but a portion of the psychedelic experience is attainable through the mirror technique. So I think that it's valuable because of that. Maybe I'll put a link in this video about that, with the video, a link in the description to the video about the mirror technique that I believe I made. I think I did a video on that. I know I've talked about it, but I can't remember if I did a specific video of it. If I didn't, then I'll do one, blah, blah, blah. But it's a good thing. The short of it is get real close to the mirror. Bigger the mirror, the better. You want it, I use the closet door. It's perfect. But if you have a mirror, you can get like nose close to, touch your nose on the mirror and then back up just a little bit. Where you can't kiss yourself, but you almost could, right? Your noses aren't touching and you're in focus, kind of. Like you're pretty close to out of focus, but you're right there at focus point. And like dead eye yourself, dude. Don't look at anything else. Just look at yourself like you're mad dogging yourself before a fight. Like those, the boxer dudes or whatever, the MMA guys will get up there right in front of you. Just, what's up, buddy? I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. You hear me? And they'll look right at you like, all in their face, right? Do that to yourself. But not necessarily so I'm gonna kick your assy, right? You just, more like you're looking at this person that knows everything. I don't necessarily do that. I more look at it like it's this other person, just that I don't know. So I guess that's not the angle I use. But when I'm standing there, because for me, I try in my mind to connect to the point, like the method or whatever, the trail I use to get to the point where I feel like I'm where I want to be with that connection of myself in the mirror, is I try to pretend like it's somebody else. I try to make it feel like awkward almost. Like I try to put myself in a position where I would be standing that close to another man who's looking right in my face and like, what the fuck is this guy doing this close to my face, and try and figure that out. And then it becomes like, this is totally weird. Why is this dude standing here this close to my face? And then he becomes a humanish, like there's this separation that happens. And so when that separation happens, that's the part where it feels like, okay, I'm entered into this state or whatever that I can connect with myself now through this other person that is me, kind of. I don't know, because it doesn't stay necessarily equally, um, equal feeling of that this is another person for the whole time. And I kind of sometimes get lost in my own gaze or whatever. But that's how I mentally put myself to get to the point of feeling like that's somebody else. Because for me, the point of when I look at that dude and it kind of feels uncomfortable-ish, because why am I standing this close to somebody? Is this dude gonna punch me or something? That's kind of where it feels like weird. I can feel this dude's breath almost. But it's a reflection of me. So that's how I get my mind into that state with that technique. And then you can kind of ask yourself, or you almost just kind of, or I ask myself things about different stuff. Now it's more of like it's different now than it was at the beginning of the time that I started. I think I've I feel like it's a thing that progresses. So I've progressed within the technique. And it feels like that it's a little bit different. The awkwardness now is less. And I kind of still aim for that, but get this blink of it or something. And then I can, I kind of feel like I've ridden this bike before. So I know how to get on it and just start pedaling or something. I don't know. It feels easier to get to the state now. Or different. Because it still sometimes is a little in and outy. It's like, dude, all right, focus on this shit, right? It's not just something that just happens. It takes a little focus. It takes focus, which again, like I said in yesterday or day before yesterday, I had to skip. Sorry, dude. Day before yesterday, I was talking about focus activities, which are super important. Everything that involves focus eventually provides benefit to yourself. Studying for finals tomorrow, focusing on art, focusing on their sports, anything. The sport itself during the time you're doing it requires focus. And if you're training towards a goal, focus. The job you do, focus. Everything. Everything that's good requires focus, it seems. That's flew out of my mouth, but it feels like that's true. So that'll probably be a quote of the day or some shit. Try coming with that stuff. So these apples are so good, man. An apple a day keeps the doctor away thing. Probably rooted in some kind of truth, dude. I feel like my whole diet almost is circled around something close to that. So, anyways, I highly recommend everybody try the mirror technique. If you add other things to enhance your mental state, smoke a bowl of marijuana, or if you're in a location where the psychedelic aspect is something that's legal, then, and you want to do it that way, then whatever. But the mirror technique with the psychedelic or the enhancement of cannabis or something like that would probably be an easier access, or might open up something even deeper than would have been possible without it. So I hear that happens, and so something I recommend, something I think is totally kick-ass, dude. Whatever, recommend, whatever. It's just totally cool, bro. Do it. It's good for you because of the fact that it's learning about you and what you know you are, so that you can believe what you already know. Something like that. But, oh, another thing I was thinking about too, that's totally crazy and weird that nobody can figure out, and we know that we can't figure it out, or at least nobody's telling everybody if they did figure it out. This is another one of those things that could fall into the category of the flower of youth, which is a modification of the fountain of youth for transportation purposes. But the thing that I'm talking about is perpetual motion. So perpetual motion is figuring out a way for something to move and not have to have a source of power that runs out generating that motion. So this thing, if you just make it go, it'll just continue going forever. And actually, I think there's like a clock or some ticking thing. I don't know if that takes any thing to wind it up or something. I've actually seen it. It's this giant fucking pendulum clock that for some reason in my head feels like there was something perpetual about it using gravity or something like that. So maybe I'm wrong. Magnetic. Maybe it's a magnet. And so that prevents it from resting. Huh. Seems like magnets can be used for that somehow, but I don't know if that's perpetual. Magnet has to be magnetic, and I think it runs out. Magnets are something I'm trying to make a video about, but I looked into it. That shit's fucking hella complicated to explain. Dude, I'm sorry, viewer that requested that. I'm working on trying to figure out how to explain it. It's, it's fucking complicated shit to explain. It has to do with the direction of the spinning of particles within the atom that creates polarity or something, and then that when they get together they move in the same direction so they stick together. Some shit. I don't know. It's fucking hella complicated to explain, dude. I don't know. I tried thinking it over. I'm like, man, I just tie myself in a knot every time I try and think about even talking it out with somebody. And so that's in progress though. Magnets are a fucking miracle and shit. That's gonna be added to my um, list of undeniable truths. I gotta write that shit down. Oh, I'm gonna watch my own video, hopefully. Write it down. So, magnets are hella crazy, and why did I start talking? Oh, perpetual motion. Perpetual motion, crazy. Outside of magnets, maybe there's a way, but it seems like perpetual motion, if we could figure it out, would just blow all kinds of things open. Would probably heavily disrupt a lot of big business, which might be something that prevents it from being released as just being discovered. Like if they found it out, they wouldn't necessarily want to tell everyone about it because then their business would go out and they would have to create all this other business, rebuild their whole thing. It's not like it would be impossible, but potentially they didn't want to have to deal with that yet. And so they're like, dude, there's still a lot of juice in this lemon. Let's squeeze this bad boy until it's dry. Why are we going to let this thing go when there's all this juice left, right? That would be an incentive to not tell everybody about it if somebody discovered perpetual motion. And then the other reason that somebody, that if somebody discovered it, why they might not want to let the world know about it is for it might be dangerous. Because if you let this secret out, who knows what fucking Putin's gonna do with it, you dick. Is he still doing all that shit? Dude, I haven't heard anything lately. People got bored of talking about it or something? I don't know, but nobody on the streets talking about Putin anymore. Maybe he's done. I hope so. What a douchebag, dude. Fuck. People who Star Wars are just total dicks. But maybe, I'm sure he's doing it for the reason he thinks is good. which is totally twisted because everyone done poop all over him his whole life or whatever. Stupid. Anyways, perpetual motion's a crazy fucking thing that probably wouldn't be released into the public right away willingly had it been discovered at one point, similar to the flower of youth, the fountain of youth or the flower of youth, where it's like, dude, if I find this, do I want everyone to live forever? I don't know. Do I want everyone to have the power of perpetual motion? I don't know. Do I want to have to rebuild my business of gasoline and all this other shit that provides motion or energy to create motion with? I don't think so. I'm just going to keep this. So I have a clock that goes forever. And my TV never needs another plug. I don't have to plug in at my house. I'm cool with that satisfaction. I'll save $50 and starve the world of this technology or whatever. Or potentially save the world from themselves from this technology if it was something that could be used for harming people or potential war, like a weapon or something. Which I'm sure it could. There's got to be misuse of perpetual motion potential. You know what I'm saying? But I'm mentioning potential perpetual motion because I remember it since I was a kid. I remember I've spun it around in my head a million times trying to think of how it would be possible. And every time I think about it, I always come to a conclusion that it's probably something extremely simple that is right under our nose. We just can't see it, or it's being blocked, or it just seems too easy, so we don't even look there. Like the pencil behind your ear. Where's my fucking pencil? Dude, it's right here, Dick. Why don't you... It's right there. Something like that. I just did that with a joint just the other day. Had it behind my ear. It was like, dude, I swear to God, I fucking had this thing, dude. Where the hell did it go? Fuck. And then I found it. It actually almost fell out. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, there it is. Stupid. So it happens. You know what I'm saying? And probably or potentially there's other things that are right in front of our face, like a pencil behind your ear, a joint behind your ear, that you're searching around for, that are just like right there already in the place with other stuff, like perpetual motion, or the flower of youth, or whatever it is. Okay, I got a bunch of things that it could be. But I've spun it in my head a million times, and I still think it's something that we can figure out that is probably super obvious and just we're missing it. Or it's being shielded because of one of those two reasons, or another reason, whatever, that I haven't thought of. Oh, and something else too that I was thinking about is like how, I don't know what brought me to this thought, but it was about how when one thing ends, something else begins. And so, kind of like, it was probably something to do with death, and when you die, you're just beginning something else that we don't know what it is. Like when you're in the womb, you're developing, and then you're born out of that whole fucking world that is your existence, and without it, you're dead. Like that body, that whole human being that's carrying you around has to survive or you're fucking done. Okay, without some sort of stinking intervention of magic medicine or whatever. Miracle. So when you come out of that, you're in a different situation and a new, bigger, better, more potential, huge growth world. So your one world ended, but it was the beginning. The very end of that was the very beginning of the next. And so then I think my brain caught to this by thinking about this and how when you're dead, we feel like that's the end because we came out of the little baby thing and now we're like this fucking human who's totally capable, and we call ourselves an adult, which is like the most capable thing a human can be, right? As an adult, at least the most capable thing that people accept uniformly. Adulthood is the top, and then you get seniors and stuff, but that's like you're over the top, dude. You're on your way down now. right? So, those are probably the wisest people, but at that point, people are like, fuck you, I don't have time to tell you that shit. All right? Fucking teeth are falling out, bitch. So they don't want to deal with that shit. They don't have time. They're like, I got like 15 minutes left. I don't want to tell you nothing, dude. I don't have time to talk about that shit or whatever. I don't know how that is. This is all flying out of my mouth. Probably not true. Old people are the best, so you should listen to them. Elders, in any form, by definition, have experienced life longer than you. So just out of that, they have something that you don't, and you can't get. You'll never catch up to that. You might do more, be more, whatever, okay? But if it's a race, you'll never catch up to that. Maybe. Don't like the word never either. So, too definitive. I don't like that. Or it's not comfortable for me. It feels uncomfortable for me to use words that are definitive. Alright? Not that I don't like it. It just doesn't feel comfortable. So, English language says, I don't like it. Alright? Did I just see a ghost? What the fuck was that, dude? Somebody just walked by, but nobody's here. Anyways, whoever that is, I will fucking kill you, dude. Don't mess with me, bitch. Alright? I got guns. It's just a ghost. I know who you are. We're cool, dude. We met, right? We're cool. What's up, buddy? Who is this? How's today going? It's going good. Thank you very much. The Dead King. I think that's what it said. I don't know if I should say people's things. I'm kind of like this person who doesn't like to put people on blast. I'm going to stop saying people's names, all right? For the record. No more saying that. It flies out sometimes. I feel like you might want recognition, but I don't know. So today, since you asked, earlier I was talking about mirror therapy. Watch this video, dude, when I post it later today. The beginning of the video has some pretty kick-ass shit, but I'll recap on it. Basically, mirror therapy is, and I threw the word therapy in there. I didn't, what the fuck did I call it? But anyways, technique. Starts with the T. So, but the mirror thing, I made a video about stand close to the mirror, look at yourself, try and get into a mind state that your reflection is another human that you're standing uncomfortably close to, and then stay in that mind space and start asking yourself with your mind questions, and that you just do it. You'll get somewhere with that. That's kind of what it is. Watch the earlier part of this video and we'll talk about that. Right now I was talking about perpetual motion, which is always like just spun my brain around in a happy way, though it feels good to think about perpetual motion. I don't know if everybody gets this experience, but for me, thinking about things that I can't, that I feel like are there, but I just can't touch them or something. That's so just powerfully feels so good, comparable to other things that feel super good. Yes. Uh, and so the perpetual motion thing, trying to figure that out, it really feels good for me. Similar to trying to picture what's past outer space. Stuff like that just gets me off, dude. I don't know why, but it really feels good to do. So I was talking about perpetual motion because it's been spinning my brain and thinking that potentially it could be easy to do or discover, and whether or not, if it was discovered, would the discoverer let everybody know about it. And probably they wouldn't, because it would, if it, well, it depends on who found it too, because if I found it and I'm like, oh yeah, let's go tell everybody, and then I might get stomped out by the bigger guy who's like, whoa dick, what the fuck are you telling everybody how to not use gasoline, dude? Shut the fuck up. Ugh, you're stomped. So Elon had to come in a different angle, had all these other people and Greenpeace and shit helping that road happen, so he's not getting killed. But who knows how many people were in the way. They're under the ground right now because Chevron was like, fuck this dude trying to fucking make electricity out of the sun. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Or it could be something that's like a dangerous, if you discovered perpetual motion, most likely that's going to involve the possibility that you can use that as a weapon. And so keeping it a secret would be a safety thing too, probably. Depending on who had it, and if it started at a small, lower level success or power control type person like me, and I was like, fuck this, I'm dirty honey in this shit all over the place. I'm going to tell everyone, I'd probably die or something. Who knows what would happen? Mysteriously, boom, lightning hit me or something, They would probably shut me up, or potentially. I don't like probably on that one because who knows? This is totally wide open. Oh, and then, so actually, I'd already finished talking about perpetual motion. I was actually starting to talk about how the end of one thing is most commonly the beginning of another thing. And I think it always is, even if it's totally removed, it's the beginning of everything else with that thing removed. So it's still the beginning of something else different, even if something ends completely, if one thing ends completely. But the existence of that one thing, I don't know, whatever, it's complicated, okay? So, but it made me think about how, like, in comparison, when you're in the womb, you're in a human body, that's your world, and if that human body just goes away, your existence is done. You rely on that, and that's your world, that's your life, and then you're born, and you're born into the world, the earth, and you're surrounded by way bigger shit. Your world got huger. You're now in this giant planet with a universe that surrounds it and all this other crazy shit that would have to be destroyed for you to just be destroyed. Similar to how if your mother was destroyed while you were in her, your life would be along with it. And so then so basically the end of your womb life is the beginning of your earth life. And then the end of your earth life is potentially the beginning of your whatever life. They say afterlife or whatever it is. And we don't know what that shit is. But rather than viewing it as the end, I was putting a view on it that isn't brand new, but it's just something I was thinking about, is how when we die here, it's the end of this life, but it's the beginning of something that we're trying to define while we're in this life, so that that new thing isn't so scary. And I don't know, because we don't know what it is potentially, but I think we understand that time is gonna go, and it feels like we're gonna somehow in shape or form go with it. Hard to put our finger on it, really. And I think some people might be like, no, that shit ain't gonna happen. You're dead. Done. Box. Closed. You're just dead. Plant. Fucking pull that shit out. Step on it. Burn it. It's dead. Right? So some people believe in that. Which is possible too. Who knows? That sounds like the best way, really. Fuck. There's nothing. Sounds easy. So that's whatever. That's a way. But potentially, it seems like, and it kind of seems like we as humans feel as if almost uniformly, because of religion and stuff, we all try to find out what's happening. What are we here for? Where are we going to go when we're done? So we feel like we're going to go somewhere when we're done, for the most part. So it seems like the fear, the lack of knowledge of it is creates fear. So we cuddle into our groups of religion that help us try and understand what is inevitable, right? So I was kind of just looking at it with maybe not a scary thought, but it's more like a birth into something bigger and better, no matter what. Just like from the womb to the world is bigger and better, unless you get born into some fucking... Right now, if you were born in this war-torn country, you'd be like, fucking, this is bullshit, dude. Live for 15 minutes and get hit by a missile. So I guess it's not always better, but it has more potential. Because before you got here, there was potential for all kinds of shit. But unfortunately, if you were born into that beforehand, you were chosen, or you chose, or randomness happened to place you there. Maybe it was a mistake. That's interesting. Was it a mistake? I don't know. Did those people need to go there? Don't know. Did they get a benefit out of that because they skipped a whole life cycle and all we need to do is make it through a few cycles? So maybe all we have to do is get 12 cycles of life out and then we're free from this and into heaven or whatever, eternal peace. And that person skipped one right away because they were born boom, dead. Oh, that was nasty. I'm editing that out. Just kidding. I won't either. Fuck. Cottonmouth, bro. So, I forgot what I was talking about because I freaking hawked out a little piece of apple or whatever on my thing. Oh, so the war-torn people, like if you were born into that, is that something that's like, is it a mistake or whatever? Oh, okay, so that's what I was saying. If you had to do 12 lives, that person potentially just skipped one and they only have to do 11 more. And we're still potentially here in our first one, like, damn, this shit's taking forever. In that war-torn country, it would feel like it was really taking forever. Like, what if you were born there, but you survived, but it was war the whole time you were there until you're like, however old, and the whole time it was war? That would feel like eternity, or some war prisoner. There's all kinds of horrible things that you could be born into, which kind of makes me think about whether or not that was something that was on purpose, if it was a mistake, if it doesn't matter, if it's something we chose ahead of time, if it was random, if we were appointed by for some reason to that and it might be some kind of a privilege, or if we skipped a step in the process of our eternal whatever picture and we got lucky on it, like roll the dice, oh dude, I hope I get one of these quick ones, boom, yes, abortion. For all we know, these abortions are like, yeah dude, fucking this is all the spirits are like, oh, I hope I get that abortion clinic so I can die right away and skip a whole life cycle, so I'll be one life cycle closer to eternal happiness. And then when you get here, you're like, damn, I want this life to live forever. But the after picture is like, damn, why did I make that take so long? I should have fucking just ended it. Boom. That is not something you do. Okay? This is a theory, and it's totally stupid. That's not a real thing. Don't fucking do that shit. Okay? I'm not trying to promote any kind of that numb nuts type of thing. If anybody ever has thoughts I'm feeling like this is like going in some crazy psycho circle conversation, but dude, that's somebody's always there to listen to you. People care about you. You are attached to somebody else that loves you, that you're valuable to. Whatever the fuck, I don't understand what can make people think that unless they feel like they're getting something positive out of it. But most of the time, I think it's probably to leave something ugly, which, like we were talking about, might be what they were born into, or I mean, it is. They're, whatever anybody is in, they were placed into that life through some method that we're kind of talking out that put them into a situation that is kind of like unavoidable because it's what it is. Shit happened the way it happened, and they ended up where they are, and that like Plinko life, blink, 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 Plinko. You remember that game from back in the day? It was fucking, what was that show? Price is Right. Price is Right? Whatever, something like that. You drop this puck down this flat board and it had all these pegs in it, and you don't know where it's going to go. Pling, 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 and it lands in a little slot down at the bottom that had a different dollar amount for you to win. It was a game show on TV. Back when you had to watch the show and couldn't fast forward it or pause it, or there was commercials you can fast skip. I was just thinking about that the other night. How... Hey man, I'm live streaming, dude. Okay? You know where I am. So, if that's you... Dirty Honey's popular right now, dang. It must be the time of the day. I don't know what I was talking about. Freaking phone calls, man. I'm sorry about that loud ass volume too. I should turn that shit down. I don't know how to. It's all the way down. Whatever. Super loud. Apologies. What was I talking about? Just got double interrupted. Now I can't remember. It was way off topic, dude. I was on some dirt road. That jump scared you. I don't know what jump. The ringer? I know, dude. I'm sorry, bro. It had to be that. If that's what you're talking about, I understand. I'll go back and watch my videos to make sure I didn't have a booger hanging out or some shit. Do I? Oh yeah, yeah, being born into something. Thank you, dude. Smash Tube, I love you, bro. You know, I know you. You already gave me permission to say your stuff, so thank you, sir. Yeah, being born into something, and whether or not it's fair or a mistake or was the part of the design, but it's something you have to take, you have to accept, and you can't change it. It's like it is what it is. And so they, like turn lemon into lemonade is way more difficult than to do than it is to say. Okay, we understand that because you might have some extra lemony, super bitter lemons put on your plate, or you could have some lemons that already have a little sugar sprinkled on them. Shit, this is a glass of fucking lemonade on a silver plate with golden straw. You know what I'm saying? So easier said than done. And it's simple to say that, oh, well, the golden straw person has a problem too. Like, we get it, but it feels like from anyone's perspective going through any kind of problem, their problem is the fucking problem. That's what it is. Bullshit. But then on the other side of the coin, nobody wants to trade with anybody else random because they're happy enough with what they have now. And so that's interesting. That made me think of something. Because we are, and I think that this is close to an undeniable truth that I'm teetering on, that we're happy with what we have because we wouldn't change it with somebody randomly. So we are happy enough with what we have, which points to a potential path of evidence that says we may have chosen this life. Maybe we chose to be who we are. Dude, this is kind of fucking exciting. I just thought about that shit. And it feels like back end access to that probability or possibility that feels like it leans toward the probability side if it has to go one way or the other. Like that feels like it could make sense. I don't believe in anything. Don't try and tie me down to shit. Okay? Fuck you. But it feels good when something makes sense, and I ride that feeling of good to see how far it goes until it starts to feel like bullshit, and try to be honest with myself about it, and then take that experience, put it in a jar, put it on the shelf, and then look at it later if I want to. Okay, but I have to figure it out by riding the horse and shit, and it really feels like because, and I'm trying to use when I come up with potential possibilities on stuff, that I try to use things that lean towards undeniably true. Okay, so if it leans towards undeniably true, such as you're happy with your life because you wouldn't trade with a random person on Earth, not even for $1,000,000, you're pretty fucking happy with your life. I asked 3 homeless people while they were sleeping in a dumpster on a rainy fucking day that same question. They said they wouldn't trade. So I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this video who have a phone like they don't wouldn't either. And that tells me that undeniably you're happy with what you have. You're happy with your life. And what does that mean? Why is that important? Why is that significant? Because on the side of things that say, okay, well, like we were talking about before, I was born into this life. Was it a mistake? Did I choose it? Did I blah, blah, blah? It falls into the portion or the section that says maybe you chose it because you're happy with it. So maybe you knew what you were going to get, and that's why you're kind of happy with it. Not because you're afraid of what you wouldn't get or whatever. Like it feels like, oh shit, fuck. I don't know what the hell that guy's got in his closets, which is part of it. And that's, this isn't a definitive thing, but it's evidence that goes, this little grain of sand goes into that jar of possibility and a couple other jars too. But that's fucking awesome, dude. That's super cool that this just came out right now like that. I like that, dude. That's a whole new thought of a train there that's got some tracks I'm gonna ride after this video is about over. So maybe we'll continue this discussion tomorrow because I know I'm gonna be thinking about this shit when the radio goes off or this goes off and I turn on my 91.5 FM on the radio, KUSC.org on the internet, dude. I didn't get to talk about this today, but I was going to talk about music and how it just almost takes control of you and you experience it. Dude, this is a whole, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. I'll make a video about it, but dude, I'm a fucking soap opera. Join us tomorrow. We're going to have a conversation you would not believe. But I really, dude, I hope I don't forget this shit. I better I've already almost forgot. Music. Dude, 91.5, that helped me remember it. Okay, but 91.5 FM on the radio, KUSC.org on the internet. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Be nice, dude. Fucking be nice. Don't be a dick. Okay? Be nice. Just like I tell everybody I care about. If somebody makes you feel ugly and they're not nice, if you're good inside and you're water and somebody throws mud in there and it makes you feel that shit, get the fuck away from that person, dude. Don't be around people that are ugly. You don't have to be around them. You don't have to try and clean their water. It's not going to happen. And remember, people are going to do that to you. Be nice. Don't put shit in people's clean water. All right? A bunch of clean water together just makes more clean water. And everybody loves that. So be nice. 91.5 FM on the radio. KUSC.org on the internet. Watch all my videos. Like, subscribe. We'll see you guys tomorrow with some seriously kick-ass conversation because it's already going in my head. I feel like I want to talk about it, but it's been an hour. I got to go back to work. Actually, I can't quite see. Is that 52 minutes? Dang, bro. I think it says 52. I guess I got a couple of minutes. Let me give you something about the music, though, because the other day before yesterday, whatever it was, dude. So dancing and music is so fucking amazing, dude. This shit, if we all enjoy it and experience it and drive down the street. I can't stop the car and turn this off till this is radio, this song's over. The shit takes control of your mind, dude, and changes the way you act. Like fucking out of control, like you're some sort of fucking lunatic, dude. And if you really let it. I close my eyes. I listen to classical music. This piece I was experiencing, two pieces that I'm going to recommend to you that are definitely in the top whatever. There's so many in the top, but write this shit down. Bach. B-A-C-H. Brandenburg Concerto number 3. God wrote that. Bach, dude, this piece is fucking amazing. All the Brandenburg concertos are bomb, dude. You can't go wrong with Bach as a whole. Any of them. There's like the whole family of Bachs, dude. Like, what the fuck? These are like angels that just came down and started speaking God, dude. It's insane. Fuck, but this piece, bro. Bach, Brandenburg Concerto number 3. Okay? Another one, Mozart, Amadeus Mozart, Symphony 25. Bro, that one's long, and dude, give yourself 30 minutes of free time to sit there and let it start and finish. And bro, now these are the pieces that I'm just gonna throw out there because on the top of my head, they're gotta be right now and for a long time really good pieces for me. There's a million of Vivaldi. I could go on forever, but I'm not gonna. I was listening to the Brandenburg number 3 the other day and started feeling it hard. Dude, yes. Chopin nocturnes, all of them. Dude, classical music is this stuff, bro. There is nothing better than this. It's absolute magic. I'm gonna talk so much about it I can feel it tomorrow, dude. This shit's magical. But bro, I was listening to this piece, Brandenburg number 3, and closing my eyes and just feeling it. I know the piece very well, so I know all the little freaking everything inside of the music, and I just fucking was just, oh, I was just in it, dude. And I was just hippied out into this dance that I was doing with my eyes closed. I had to kick my shoes off so I didn't trip and shit. But I was like this fucking, just, the music made me do it. Like I was reading it or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. If you really fall into the music, you have to have quiet, and you know, you gotta have your space or whatever. But fuck, bro, with good speakers and shit. I even didn't even have good speakers, but it was off of the TV on Pandora and shit. It wasn't even a good quality anything. I just know the piece so well that I can, it, dude, fucking whatever. It was absolute ecstasy. Like, I can't even explain it. I was in tears by the end of it at certain points. Like, tears were literally coming out of my eyes. It was so enjoyable. Joy tears. The feeling is hard to describe because it's so magical. It's true, dude. It's freaking magic, bro. It is magic. It's like one of the undeniable truths. It's absolutely 100% an undeniable truth. Worldwide, time-wide, music has always been something, I think. I can't imagine that at any point in time somebody didn't figure out that when they threw that rock and it went tink, 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 we're like, whoa, that fucking did something. Why do I have a ear hard on because that fucking rock skipped in a certain pattern? It's just fucking insane, dude. That's one of the things that's on the table with undeniable truth. Music, and what the fuck does that shit do to you and why? And so what I'm so hyped on and what I'm going to talk more in detail about tomorrow is the state you can get into, which I kind of touched on right now, using that music, which I kind of try to enjoy things to the point of meditative state nowadays. That's kind of my goal, is to, or not goal, but it's kind of something I do to smell the flowers along the way, to stop and smell the roses, is that I take the things that are our base undeniable truths, you know, the senses primarily is what I'm talking about now, and things like music and how they're affected by them, and light, and all these things, and then enjoy those and experience them to their fucking atom, dude. Like, just because I feel like stop and smell the roses type of a mindset on that is something that people don't do. That's so far under our feet and so unappreciated and taken for granted that it could be part of that original pure truth, pure goodness, pure life, kick acidity, whatever the fuck is bigger than everything that we just are being dumped on. It's all being covered. And that's part of that core truth, undeniable part of us that I'm trying to enjoy, those things that are undeniable as like a miracle and shit. Why am I not paying closer attention to sound and the pattern of sound that turns me into this fucking lunatic that's spinning around, and what the fuck am I doing, dude? What? Like, dude, I was not eating any mushrooms or nothing like that. Dude, this is some fucking, dude, you know, everybody knows. It's not a secret. So I'm trying to access the power, if you will, of those everyday, unrecognized, underappreciated, undeniable truths that I think in me, by paying closer attention to them, have unlocked a better understanding of myself and what I am, which to me is very powerful and very important. Powerful, I don't know if the use of that word in everyday English is, you know, we'll go across right, but it's self-empowerment, powerfulness between the inside of me and what comes out of me, and having that be something that's good. And I already said be nice a long time ago and talked about 91.5 FM on the radio, KUSC.org, and the internet, but I can't shut the fuck up about it because the music's amazing. It's been a whole hour now, though, so I really do have to get going. I got stuff to do. Gotta, do my grind. And so, dude, this is a good conversation. We're going to have another good one tomorrow. And it'll be hopefully around 11 like usual. And you have a good day, too. I hope everyone can join me tomorrow. Again, we have another good conversation about this stuff. Be nice, watch the videos, subscribe, tell a friend, dude. That's the new mission. Everyone's got to tell a friend. Okay, refer a friend. That's the thing. Don't forget Smash Tube. The power of Grayskull. Yeah, dude. He-Man. All right, man. Everyone have a good one. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time. Be nice. Bye.